Alright, when we last left our band of intrepid adventurers, they were just sitting down to dinner with the Rabbit Folk family, their strange ways endearing to some of the members of the party, but all too insufferable to others. It seems that in this place of fantastic oddities and strange happenings, those with more dour temperaments would have their willpower and resolve tested much more firmly than they had on any of their dangerous dungeon adventures.
As she passes by the top of the table, she will wave her cane around a little bit, causing literally every single person who is fussing over Tobias to give the woman exactly her swing's worth of width to move around. You could tell they know. Enough fussing. Tobias, come help me with the potatoes. My hands aren't quite as steady as they were.
Of course, Mother. And he hops as if he is not ridiculously dressed, and there is nothing abnormal about his current appearance at all, over to the stove to help.
She says, so I understand that the kingdom of Waterdeep, it is a kingdom, isn't it?
It is.
It wants you to go on some journey.
Well, yes, you see, it's a competition. We have to be the ones that get to the center of it's a maze. A labyrinth, if you will.
Oh, you always did like puzzles.
Yes, but this one has money. Lots of it. Of course, it's also got, terrible creatures that nobody's ever seen, and they're, very, very capable of killing, well, a seasoned adventurer.
And you're intent on agreeing to this offer of theirs for you to do this journey?
Tobias kind of slows down on his potato cutting as he thinks for a moment, and then he looks over at his mother and he says,
I think you'd be proud of what I can do with my magic, Mom. You see, I don't want to use it to kill things, but I can.
So he cuts some more of the potato.
As long as I can keep growing powerful.
Your mind always was the strongest part of you, and if you were going to use anything to do such things, of course it would be that. I suppose I should have understood that you were destined to dabble in magic. Of course, I was rather hoping that you would use it for glamours and stay here. And enchanted foods, golden apples, and that sort of thing, rather than gallivanting off to slay monsters. And frankly, when those fellows showed up looking for you, I was rather worried that you had become too smart and not as kind.
Tobias just puts the potato down now and looks at his mom.
Well, you see, magic is wonderful and it's powerful. It can bring down dragons, but,
well, my eyes are not as magical as my fingertips are sometimes, and people are not always what they seem to be. Those gentlemen definitely were not. When I discovered that, I left.
Well, you know how your father wanted to start up a restaurant in town? Well, he's done that, and it is good. The town has grown, and many more of Fae kind have come to settle here, and even a few primes. The men that came looking, they tell stories. Some of the stories are of the things you did. They say that you stole from them.
Tobias just blinks and goes into the worst poker face anybody has ever made.
I don't know what they're talking about.
Tobias, dear, they say that you lied to them.
Recognizing the futility of trying to get one past his mother.
Don't we all know that one?
Yes, well, you see,
Tobias holds up his spell book.
I didn't exactly purchase this.
Then he reminds her of the adventurers that traveled through the village and the wizard one of them, and recounts the tale of how said wizard was condescendingly rude to him when asked to direct him where he might learn his trade. He finishes with, well, this is that man's book. I've made use of it. Probably more for good than he ever would have. But it isn't mine, you see.
Oh, Tobias. I just don't understand why you couldn't just outwit him. How we do. It's lying and stealing is a thing that is almost exclusive to primes.
I hardly told a lie. On that one I genuinely am confused.
The men say that you were hired as part of their company and that you worked with them under contract and left before the end of your agreement.
Well, yes, but I certainly didn't tell them I was leaving. So if I didn't speak to them at all, then how have I committed a lie?
You broke a contract. Oh, Tobias.
Well, you know, Mother,
And he kind of picks the potato up and starts angrily slicing at it again. Some contracts are better broken. The kind of contracts those men sell. He pauses and looks at her.
She's got wide dinner plate eyes.
The better you get at what you do, the darker the things they ask you to do are.
I don't want you to become some unseelie madman. I raised you better than that.
I'll take the hit on the lie. And of course on the theft. But I hope one day you'll understand that the alternative was far, far worse.
Oh, Tobias. And she pats you on the head and then knocks the beret off and into a nearby pot. I do trust that if you are saying that it was the right decision, just be very careful. Primes don't see things like we do sometimes, and if you're going to help them, just make sure that you take care of protecting yourself.
He nods. You learn that quickly in the prime.
Good. That should be about enough potatoes, I think.
do you suppose the beret will add flavor?
Who knows? At the very least, it'll add color. They'll think they're red potatoes. Do you think it'll fool your friends?
Excellent. Oh, I don't reckon it'll fool them, but Angela's very polite and she'll just eat it anyway.
With the dirty laundry aired and the fresh laundry cooking, Tobias and his mother return to the table, and the lot of them are treated to a feast comparable only to what Thanksgiving felt like when you were too small to eat a drumstick. If you're not American, my condolences, but congratulations on your better health. With their bellies filled and lean physique fussed over most thoroughly, the party is informed that the members of the Zentarim are staying at the restaurant run by Tobias's father elsewhere in the village. The party begins to trickle out, their steps heavy as they are yet to acclimate to the new weight in their bellies.
As Tobias is leaving, he will stop. Oh, Mother, I did want to make one inquiry. I spoke with Capper.
Oh, I'm so sorry.
Well, you know, I thought I would be, but he's actually just making a murder-free living.
She gives you an even more incredulous look than when you said that you hadn't stolen or lied.
Now, I do know that he's a redcap, and believe me, I was ready to dispatch him purely on that alone.
But, and Tobias holds up his tub of dye. He's found a way to keep his hat red that doesn't involve using the blood of others.
If you don't believe that he is dangerous, and I suppose with several primes in front of him, he probably would have wanted to slice them all up if he was a danger, then I'll let the sheriff know that he can come back into town.
If you do end up regretting it in a tragic fashion, on my long-eared head be it.
So long as he leaves those terrible tromping boots of his back at home. I like his jingly shoes better.
I think those are terms he'll agree to.
He always does it whenever he goes for business. She tries to make her best sneering face. It still just looks like a cute bunny face. It's just a thing.
Well, it's the only good deed I'll probably ever do for a redcap. But I thank you for hearing me out on it.
Honestly, I'm even less worried now that I see you doing a good deed for such a, what I had assumed was such a vile creature. If you are going to go to town to see your father and those gentlemen, then you should probably do so quickly.
Yes, we'll be off.
I'm sure the Kingdom of Waterdeep needs its heroes back.
Well, I wouldn't call myself a hero, but I do rather like the adventure.
Well, considering that at the last Mames meet, we had no less than 30 of your younger siblings dressing up as you, I think the stories probably passed about the same there.
Tobias just kind of chuckles at that, and then he says, "We should really get on to Father, because I don't know how long we have in the Feywild." And he gives his mother a hug and a kiss on the cheek.
She seems exceedingly happy with that, and goes over to Angie in particular, and produces a small jar.
Oh, thank you. What could this be?
Well, I was rather hard on you, dear.
No, don't worry about it. It's perfectly understandable.
You just take that with you. If you get any more of your friends, family members caning you, this should help to soothe your wounds.
Oh, thank you.
Angela's usually the one that winds up the most injured when we travel together. Angie, you'll probably want to keep that.
And he just kind of reaches up and pats Angela.
I assume so, yes.
She got stuck in a tree once. Did she tell you?
Oh god, not that.
Stuck in a tree? How did you get stuck in a tree?
Well, Tobias was the one that actually got me out.
Oh, yes, I smacked her right on the bottom.
And then he, his face, blanches in horror. What the smell? What the smell?
Oh boy.
You conjured a hand to smack her on the bottom?
Angie's just face palming right now.
Somehow, Tobias manages to blush through his fur, and he says, "No, it's called. It's a spell called Thunderwave. There are no hands. There are no hands. We touched no bottoms. Her bottom was sticking out of the tree. I'm not going to get out of this. Well, am I?" Tobias starts frantically flipping through his spell book.
Yep.
See, is that all? Oh my God!
Not endorsed.
Just go ahead and head into town. We don't need to see any conception. Just out.
Tobias turns to the family. Everybody outside! We must see how this works. It'll be a stupendous show, and I might not actually die of embarrassment.
We need to get to town.
This won't take long. I mean, it didn't take long before.
All right. So the veritable tide of rabbit folk floods forth from the entryway to the house, and in grand fashion, having heard your description echoing throughout the house as things became more and more disjointed, they actually bring over a pair of large logs and lean them over and lash them together. And it is at that point that you realize what they are trying to do is recreate the scene as no less than 9 rabbit folk start trying to push Angie over towards the little wooden area to lodge her into it.
Oh no!
Well,
Not again!
Ethniel kind of smirks.
No, Angela doesn't have to. Okay, Angela, I'll just apologize to you later.
Alright.
One of them will tug on you a little bit and be like, you can still move, right?
Oh, yes. We're pretending, we're recreating the scene.
Okay, good. Let the latch go. And they unlash the logs and they promptly fall together and you are definitely stuck now.
Ow!
Okay, she's
That
stuck.
was completely
Fire!
unnecessary.
Tobias gives Angela the most heartbroken look he can manage and just mouths the words, "I'm so sorry." Then he whips the cloak of billowing out and reads the elvish script that Bethaniel identified in a grandiose voice and hurls his spell finger towards Angela.
All right. And you're casting Thunderwave?
That's what he's trying to do, yes.
Okay. As the circle of over 100 rabbits watch on Vilatha sitting amongst some of them that are literally hopping up and down in anxiousness to watch. Tobias explodes with a fury, blasting the dust from all around him, and catapults not only Angela, but also the now loose, large logs, and sends them rocketing through the air. The logs go to the left and to the right, and smash through the large fence surrounding the little bunny compound. Whereas Angie actually manages to clear the wall. Her armored form launching over the fence as a pair of bunnies stand up and lift up 10-foot poles, and she passes right between them. And one at the bottom goes, "Goal!"
Which way was it to town again?
Best day ever.
That way? I hope so.
And then there is the delightful sound of a plate mail armored warrior splashing down into a little bunny-made pond.
Ow. I'm okay.
You got ointment. Use it.
I'm okay. I'm fine. Ow.
Thank you for watching, and thanks to our wonderful supporters that make up our little community, watching us stream the best available and everything else you see on this channel live to our supporter-only Discord. It's quite active in there, with many playing in these games or others, and even running their own. This channel wouldn't exist without each and every one of you, which is why I read each and every name against my crying editor's wishes, starting with those in the power tier. David, Doodle Poodle, Jay Jones, John the Wicked, Sneaky GI, Someone, and William Smith. In the planar tier, Darth Cavalier, Gordy Danke, Ice Dragon, Jesse Labrie, Joshua Williams, and Sparkle Lord the Fabulous. In the adventurer tier, All's Fiction, Bastion Falconwrath, Dragon Tempest, Jeremy B., John R300, Justin, Katie, Mystics, Ty Korzak, and V. In the Questgiver tier, Bird or the Cage, Emanon, Kyla, Night Archer, ODST Hero, PPNTT807, Robert Mischief, Rio 1990, Samantha, Sephiroth Kurosame, Sir Tiny Bones, and William J. Stewart. And in the Townsfolk tier, Adrian, Blizzard Hawk, Biz Adrian, Brett Bemis, Dylan Taylor, Doodle Poodle, Ice Commander, Enrique, Lone Soul 6, Love Bites Back, Mordant Dragon, Scott Stedman, Sense Backpack, Sergeant Humpty, Tom Brazeau, and Wicked Ways. A special thank you to our first ever supporter and longest standing supporter, Scion of Magnus, and Sammy Wolf, and as always, I can't forget to mention our creative team, Doodle Poodle, Nala Fontaine, Shadow Wolf, Scorpius187, MC_Cheshire, Thriving Inferno, and the Forever DM, me. Thank you all for watching to the end, and as always, take care of yourselves, take care of each other, and I will see you in the next one. Good night, all.